Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena Mana Burn. This is the series where we take a deck that goes off 10% of the time, every time. And today we're going to be taking a little bit of a dip into the historic format with a deck I like to call Witness the Thickness. And this is going to be a revisit of an old deck that has a few extra pieces, but also kind of lost a few pieces. So I'm not entirely sure whether or not this is the better version. I think it might be slightly not as good as the original, mostly because back in the day when I made this deck, it was during Kaladesh, and we had Blossoming Defense as our way to actually protect our combo. So, I'm getting ahead of myself. What is our combo? Well, we're going to be making Marwyn the Nurturer about as thick as she could possibly be. 3 mana for a 1/1. Says whenever another elf enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on Marwyn the Nurturer. But the important thing is that we can tap Marwyn to add any amount of mana equal to Marwyn's power. So, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making Marwyn super huge massive, and we're also going to be, at the same time as doing that, we're going to be untapping her so that we can reuse all of her mana. So initially she's going to tap for 1. If we do something like a Gift of Growth, which is the best of our pump spells, 2 mana with Kicker, you can untap a creature and give it +2/+2 until the end of the turn. So if we just do that, we get to untap Marwyn, and then she's going to tap for 3 mana from that point forward. So we've actually just netted a mana from a Gift of Growth. However, if we do it with Kicker, she actually gets +4/+4, which means future untap effects are going to be going a lot bigger than that. So the idea is we're going to be getting Marwyn as soon as possible. This deck is quite flimsy because it relies entirely on Marwyn, doesn't do anything if you do lose her, but we do have some ways to return her as well, using Once and Future, as well as just generally digging for future copies of Marwyn. And we have plenty of ways to dig for her. We've got Adventurous Impulse, which is a look at the top 3 cards of your library, put a creature or land into your hand. We also have Once Upon a Time, new from the Eldraine set. If it's the first spell you've cast, you get to cast it without paying its mana cost. Looks at the top 5 and reveals a creature or land as well. We have Season of Growth, which says whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you get to scry 1. This card is actually pretty good at drawing your entire deck. Season of Growth allows you to draw cards whenever you cast spells that target a creature you control, which is the entire thing about our combo, is that we're going to be targeting Marwyn and untapping her. And yes, we have Once and Future as well, so that we can return creatures, or cards anyway, from our graveyard to our hand. And if Adamant is cast, which means that if we cast it with 3 or more green mana, we're mono green, aside from the Zalfarin Voids, which again is another way for us to search for our Marwyn. We have a lot of ways to make sure that this card is in our hand, let's put it that way. The only thing that we can't search for is the return of the Wild Speaker, which is our win condition outside of Marwyn. So we're going to be storming off, making lots of mana with Marwyn, untapping her, tapping her, untapping her. And then when she's got large enough power, we're going to use Return of the Wild Speaker, a 5 mana instant. We get to draw cards equal to the greatest power among non-human creatures you control, which is obviously going to be Marwyn. So this card can actually, on a typical cast, will actually draw us about 6 or 7 cards. And if it finds us an untap effect, then we get plenty more mana. So our untap effects are Stony Strength, put a counter on a creature and then untap that creature. Gift of Growth, as we've mentioned before, is a +4/+4 and an untap, which is very good. It is our best. And Steady Aim as well. Untap a creature, it gets +1/+4 and gains reach until the end of the turn. We really need Gift of Growth, ideally though. Back when Kaladesh was a thing, we actually had we had 2 versions of a +4/+4, which was very useful, and one of them also gave Trample, which is something that we have to obtain through other means. We're going to be doing it with the Endray's Forerunners. We're going to be able to probably realistically cast both Endray's Forerunners in the exact same turn, as well as using all of our Return of the Wild Speaker's second abilities there to give creatures +3/+3 until the end of the turn. So if we don't need this for card draw, suddenly it becomes a pump spell. And we're going to be trying to destroy our opponent entirely with a Marwyn. But we can also give Trample to other creatures like Endray's Forerunners, our Llanowar Elves, our Gilded Gooses. We've got 8 copies of a 1 mana ramp spell to get Marwyn out on turn 2. We can combo realistically on turn 3 if we've got a pretty good hand, but probably going to be a little bit more than that. Our perfect hand looks something like turn 1, one of these, turn 2 Marwyn, having Return of the Wild Speaker in your hand, and then something like a Gift of Growth or a Steady Aim or a Stony Strength. Ideally Gift of Growth, so that we can go off and draw lots of cards. Season of Growth also drawing us cards when we target Marwyn, so pretty good there. That's essentially the deck. We've got 2 copies of Memorial to Unity as well, which is actually another way to find Marwyn. I'm quite happy with the consistency of finding Marwyn in this deck, because she is absolutely key to our victory, and if she dies, well, we die. Unless we can find our once and futures and things like that. So, you know, it's not over, but it's pretty much over. So we want to be dodging heavy removal decks. If we find them, we're probably already dead. But if we can manage to skip out, if our opponent does not respect Marwyn the way that she needs to be respected, then we'll win that way as well. Most people just don't expect to be comboed by a Marwyn the Nurturer and die to Llanowar Elves and thick Gilded Gooses. So, without further ado, let's get into the gameplay, and if you do enjoy these videos, then make sure to hit that like button as well, if you decide that you did enjoy it. Anyway, let's get into the games, and showcase the deck. Alright, we're in, and we've got a pretty unkeepable hand. We've got one of the worst pump spells that we have available to us, and 3 Return of the Wild Speakers. We do have Zalfrin Void and Memorial to Unity to find our Marwyn, but they're probably a little bit too slow. We might as well just accept this gorgeous, gorgeous hand. Alright, well, I think I'm going to put one of the Return of the Wild Speakers to the bottom, and we're going to get that Gilded Goose out. Ideally, what we want to find is our pump spells, so Gift of Growth is going to be the best one here. We could wait a little while as well if we assume our opponent's going to be murdering our Marwyn. Looks like they might be trying to kill my Gilded Goose. Where you got Disfigure or something like that? I'm not sure. We're in Historic, so got to keep in mind that all the old cards that usually would rotate have disappeared. I don't think I'm going to go for Marwyn here. I think instead, well, I might Zalfrin Void and then see what we draw. I think I bottom that. It is nice to redraw, but we've got the Return of the Wild Speaker to do that as well. I think I'm just going to go for maybe a turn 4 combo. You don't want to go off too early, but of course, if you do leave your opponent long enough, then they'll have their removal spells open. We don't have to worry about Cast Down, since she is legendary, so it's probably the best of the removal spells that our opponent could have. Maybe get murdered on turn 3 though. Should be an argument for going early, but oh well, spare Marwyn then. Why not? Okay, so let's play Zalfrin Void. We want to look for pump spells. We did not find one, so let's just get down our free Marwyn and pass the turn. Could send a message by attacking our opponent with the Gilded Goose. I want to make my opponent think that we've got something here. As I mentioned, this combo is a little bit flimsy, so if they go for the Marwyn, we're going to be real sad. But they did not, so we're going to take 4. And we really hope for something better than that. Alright, well, Adventurous Impulse. That's the win right there. And it's gone to the bottom of our deck. Alright. That's a problem. Okay, well, pass the turn. So we're going to probably chump block the Rotting Regisaur with our Gilded Goose and make a food token. Because we should be okay for mana as long as Marwyn lives. And honestly, we've not put our opponent in the position where they should respect our Marwyn, which is definitely good for us. One of the keys of Mana Burn is that you always make your opponent underestimate the power of your deck. So, you know, we're looking like garbage right now. But little does our opponent know that we actually could combo next turn and win. Down to 13. Alright. Give me an untap spell that's good. Alright. Okay. Little does our opponent know that we could also just do bugger all and lose. Alright, let's play Forest. Pass the turn. So we're taking 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, we're taking a lethal amount. And it looks like they've got everything they need. So how do I actually win this game? I think if I play my Return of the Wild Speaker, I lose. If I chump block with Marwyn, I lose. So yeah, I just don't think there's anything we can do here. Sadly, we played Adventurous Impulse and put our win con to the bottom of the deck. Sometimes, you know, it just happens. So, yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, we're just forced into chomp blocking or in Regisaur. And I guess we'll sacrifice the food, it's not doing as much good. Down to 8, and yeah, we draw crap. Alright, next game. Alright, we're in, and we're up against Swaglord, so we've got some something to worry about. Our opponent is an absolute mad lad. We're going to keep this hand, because it has turn 2 Season of Growth into turn 3 Marwyn, presumably, since we have the Adventurous Impulse and a number of top decks. Our opponent on Dimir Artifacts, possibly. Not really sure. We'll have to see. And we get an Adventurous Impulse. I mean, we could... Yeah, I guess we could do... Turn 1 Impulse, look for a land, since we need a third land anyway. Yeah, let's grab another land. Play that next turn into a Season of Growth. Maybe Adventurous Impulse into our next land after that. And see what we get. We don't need to. Okay, that's good. Season of Growth. And we're looking in a good position right now. Opponent with the Cauldron, Familiar into Saheeli. Alright. So it looks like we have to dodge removal for a turn, and we actually might win. Oh, good lord. If this does not die, we win. Simple as that. Once Upon a Time is another shot at Marwyn. Goes 5 cards deep. It's a lot deeper than a look for... I don't think we actually care about finding more untap effects. I think we've got plenty enough as it is with the 2. So we need to just have the out that our opponent has removal for Marwyn. So I think I'm just going to pop that on the top. If our opponent kills Marwyn, we're kind of dead in the water for a little while until we find another one. I really just want my opponent to tap out here. Again, best removal in this format is probably Cast Down, which obviously Marwyn doesn't die to. Following that, they could have Moment of Cravings, Vraska's Contempts they're tapped out of, and they're officially tapped out. Alright. So let's see if we can win. This is the moment of truth. Our opponent hits us for 1. Pathetic. We're down to 17. We're basically dead. Alright. So, what we want to do is we want to go Marwyn. Gift of Growth with Kicker. Turn her into a 5/5. A Season of Growth. Very nice, very nice. So we're going to tap for 5. We're going to play Season of Growth, number 2. Then we're going to play Steady Aim. Untapping Marwyn. Netting us another 6 mana. And drawing us 2 cards. Zalfrin Void. Okay. So now we've got a 6/9. Nice.
Nice. Nice. Nice. Nice. Nice. Nice. Nice. Nice.
Let's see. Where do we want to go from there? Well, I guess we do want to Return of the Wild Speaker, draw 6 cards. Yeah, and then we need a 2 mana untap spell out of these 6. We've got it. Alright. Oh baby, he's got it. Alright, Stony Strength. Untapped Marwyn. Goodbye, the greatest number ever invented. There's a Gilded Goose. Okay. From there, we just want to go tap all our mana, untap Marwyn. Draw 2 more cards. We just need to find another Return of the Wild Speaker here. All the while gaining a metric ton of mana to cast everything that we draw. No, you son of a... You knew you'd lost, so that's fine at the end of the day, but... yeah, what we're going to do is we're just going to make loads and loads of mana. We still had some more untap effects, probably going to draw more as we go. If we don't find our Endray's Forerunners, which gives Trample and Vigilance and another body, then we were going to go with Once Upon a Time's Adventurous' Impulses to go and find our Trample ability, and then from there smash our opponent in the face. If we find a way to actually return the Gift of the Wild Speakers from our graveyard, we can then draw additional cards. Or we can give +3/+3 to Marwyn, just as a way to deal additional damage. Of course, waiting until... we've got to be very careful not to deck ourselves, though, because obviously every time we target Marwyn, we draw 2 cards. And then I think we were on like drawing 11 cards or something like that with Marwyn on the next 6-mana Return of the Wild Speaker. But we got him! We did it! I'm so glad. I'm so glad. And we did it with a 69 as well during the video. What a time to be alive. Let's go for another game. Alrighty then, we're in, and we got 3 lands, which is all we need until the end of time, so that's pretty good. Once Upon a Time for free as well, so we can find our Marwyn. Yeah, I guess I'm going to take this one. We've got like 3 ways in our hand currently to find Marwyn, so I'm happy with that. Opponents. It's playing Pirates, okay. Let's hope that they are not interested... Is it supposed to show me 2? Reveal a pirate card from your hand. He just showed me 2 of them. Has he got 2? Has my opponent got 2? That'd be interesting. There's only one way to find out. Alright, so I really just don't need extra mana is the thing. So I'm just going to take the Endray's Forerunners. Play a tap land, say go. We'll go with a Season of Growth and then see where we want to go from there. I'm hoping our opponent isn't jam-packed full of removal, but you just never know. Another Season of Growth. Alright, well, that's something that we can do on turn 3. Season into Impulse. Something like that. Would be okay. And Slippery Scoundrel, number 1. Probably not the last, though, since the game was kind enough to let me know that there's potential that our opponent had another one. So we're going to get the other Season of Growth, and then Gilded Goose, so we get Scry 1 twice. And we get to ramp a little bit as well. Definitely don't want that. So we're going to bottom that. If it's not Marwyn, we're not interested. And there's our Marwyn. So now, all we need to do is find pump spells. Pump spells that also untap. So we've got a Steady Aim here, but it's not really worth too much to us, unfortunately, at this stage. We're going to take 6. Down to 10. How many things is this? Gain control of target non-land permanent if dealt by 3 or more pirates this turn. So I do need to block at least one of these. Hopefully they don't actually, like, smork me with extra hasty creatures. We'll see. I probably sequenced this wrong. I should probably go for the Adventurous Impulse here. So really none of this matters, because I'm going to rectify my mistake by playing an Adventurous Impulse for his Alpha and Void. Okay. Not all that great, honestly. But it does mean that we got enough mana now that we don't need this Gilded Goose. So I get to block 3 damage. Potentially. And our opponent's looking at a deck going, wow, who'd play this? So I do need to block, otherwise they take my Marwyn. And do not want that. It'd be the first time I'd ever see Admiral Beckett Brass do a thing. So, not today, Sonny Jim. It's gonna stay a bad card. Double Strike. Wowie. Okay. She was a diversionary tactic. I see. I see. Well, GG's opponent. You got me. Alrighty then, we're in, and we've got turn 1 Llanowar Elves plus a Once Upon a Time as well to go find Marwyn. If we whiff on the first, we can go another 5 cards deep for Once Upon a Time, which is nice 10 cards, probably like 12 or so in total. Yeah, I'm going to keep this one. Obviously, not ideal to... actually, I'm going to let it go because I actually might need something different. Alright, we're up against potentially mono red, which is rough. So what we're going to do is we're just going to throw all of our birds under the bus, get all those shocks out of our opponent's hand if we can, and see where we go from there. So if they don't kill our Llanowar Elves, we can play another Elves and then Once Upon a Time, but obviously, naturally, Elves is dead. It would be a mistake not to murder it. So we're going to go Goose, and we're going to go Elves. Waiting on a natural draw once again, though, to find our Marwyn. But we got all the mana in the world, though, so we're in a reasonable spot-ish. We're up against Burn, so honestly, this is going to be the absolute nightmare scenario matchup for us. That's a combo piece that I am happy to see. So we've already made our land drop for the turn, so I believe that means I'm just going to pass and then go for a Once Upon a Time on end step. Heraldic Banner, okay. Have we played against you before? I don't know. This feels familiar. Alright, Once Upon a Time. Give me a Marwyn. Ooh, why is it always these games? Alright, well, take a forest. And, yeah, pass the turn. Always these games where you either just never, ever find a Marwyn against your opponent's nightmare scenario kind of deck as well, so you just can't feel too bad about it, really. It's like, you know, I'd probably lose against this one, but I can just blame the shuffler instead. Fires of Invention, that actually could be good for us. And the reason why that could be the case, also Banner doesn't work with this, right? Less than or equal to the number of lands you control without paying the mana cost, so you're not ramping into fires. I don't get that that one there, but power to you. You might lose next turn.
No sword can pierce my scales.
Alright, well, be turn after next, actually. Because we still have to get Marwyn into play, but I get to Once and Future and grab back maybe 2 Once Upon a Times, possibly a Llanowar Elves. Not entirely sure which one I want to go with just yet. But yeah, they can't play at instant speed, so I get to do whatever I want, presumably. I'm going to go with Once Upon a Time. I think I'm going to go and find Marwyn. I'm going to get all of my digging spells. A little suspicious to my opponent, I'm sure, but it's kind of how our deck functions, and Zalfrin Void. I'm going to take that one. Get to Scry here, and we don't want that. And from there, I am just going to pass the turn. I can't play Marwyn if I find her, so I don't really want my opponent to know what I'm going to be playing next turn. So, they got 3 cards in hand. They can play 4 drops or less. 2 of them. And that is it. There's one. Bone Crusher Giant. Okay. So we have a clock on our hands. Opponent with a wonderful 2-turn clock. Yeah. Which is going to make this one insanely close. We can, of course, block. So it probably doesn't end up being a 2-turn clock, but worst case scenario it probably is. So opponent can't actually play anything anymore, so yeah, they're just going to pass. We're going to find Marwyn, because there's actually, like, absurd odds against us not doing that. Alright, so we play Marwyn. And we find out whether or not we lose. If our opponent cannot kill Marwyn and cannot kill us, we win. 5 mana for our opponent. Does this say you can only play it at sorcery speed, or is it... No, it's only during each turn. Flame Sweep for our opponent. 2 damage to each creature. So I'm going to have to go with a Gift of Growth, which really sucks. Because that's actually my win con. Alright. But yeah, I kind of have to... I have to protect Marwyn, otherwise I die. So she's going to 1. I imagine our opponent then plays something to kill Marwyn, and we go to 10. I'm going to go to 10 anyway. Because I would actually lose if I blocked. Which I might end up having to do anyway. Skargan Hellkite, post-combat. And then fire off. Yeah, kill my Marwyn. Alright. Yeah.
Are you ready?
I think it goes without saying. Mono red against the you only have to kill one creature in my deck and I lose situation is definitely a bad one. Well, our opponent can activate in response to us going with a Stony Strength and things like that, so we just can't win here. I can Season of Growth and draw cards. It's just not going to matter, because now they ping it or they slow roll us. Either one. Which one do you want to do? Do you want to slow roll me? They want to slow roll me. Okay. Why? Is probably the question I ask. Why slow roll me? Okay. Let's go with a Return of the Wild Speaker. Draw cards, 3 cards here. I need one of them to be an untapped spell. Okay. We got an untapped spell. I'm not sure if this is good enough, because Marwyn's power's not good enough. But we are drawing all of the untapped spells in the known universe, so maybe this is enough. Untap Marwyn. Draw a card. More lands. Really? Deck? Come on now. Let's draw 5 cards. Need another untapped spell, otherwise we're done. And yep, we whiff. I don't know how, but we managed it. We managed to whiff. There's literally nothing I can draw here. Since I can't target, it means I can't draw non-creature spells or non-land spells. So, I mean, we can go look at what we would have drawn, and I imagine it's a lot of untapped magic. No, it's actually garbage. Okay, well, that's rough. Yeah, our opponent actually risked losing the game there by a simple mistake of not killing my creature. If I'd have found an untapped spell there, I almost certainly win, but we did not, so, you know. Meh. Next game, I guess. Alright, we're in, and we've got a Season of Growth and a Land of War Elves. There's no Marwyn in sight and no way to find her, so I'm going to Mulligan. And we have a Marwyn, and we have some ramp. And honestly, this hand looks reasonably gorgeous, honestly. We're going to go with... I like the 2 lands, I like the pump spells, and honestly, I think the ones in future might be used to get back more pump spells. I'm going to put the Stony Strength to the bottom. And we're going to go for a turn to Marwyn, hopefully. Maybe even just taking the turn off to go for a Gilded Goose. I'm definitely going to go Goose first, though. Goose means that I can go Marwyn into Land of War Elves, and that means they get a counter on Marwyn. Doesn't happen very often, but when it does, you want to get good use out of it. Opponent on Bant. Elementals? Something like that? Not sure. Let's go for a Zalfrin Void, so that we can find our Return of the Wild Speaker, pretty important key in our victory. So let's go digging for it, shall we? Alright, let's get Marwyn down. And pass the turn. We want to just dodge. I don't really know, honestly. 3 fairies annoying. No doubt the white is in there so they could splash for 3 fairy just to tilt me something rotten. Because there aren't many white elementals. Oh boy. Now then. What's the odds of winning? I can play Land of War Elves, which is free, so I might as well just do that now before ever doing any of the calculations. We can add 2 for the 4, and then this adds 6. I need a 1 mana untapped spell. I'm going to go for it next turn, I think, because then I have Gilded Goose and Land of War Elves as extra mana. Yeah. Alright. I think we win next turn, as long as our opponent leaves our stuff alone. Maybe the white's actually for time wipe. Probably, right? Alright, they got a Nissa. And they got blue mana. Blue mana is scary mana. Leafkin Druid. Okay. Now they don't have blue mana. And let's see what they can do. 2 more mana, and I think they're just tapping out. Good stuff. Alright, do we win? That is the #1 question on everyone's mind. Can we win from here? Theoretically, yes. Theoretically, we have the win. Alright, so, untap. Another Gilded Goose is not what I wanted. So, let's Marwyn, Gift of Growth with Kicker, untap Marwyn. Now she taps for 6 mana, and then we go 6, pay 4, 2, I think this is fine, yeah. Once in future, get back Gift of Growth. What? Can I have it in my hand? Yeah, okay. Gift of Growth with Kicker. Now we're adding 10 mana. We're going to draw 10 cards. And I think that's the win, ladies and gents. Alright, Stony Strength. Untaps Marwyn. Now she taps for 11. And we want to go again. Untap Marwyn. Now she taps for 12. We've got 25 mana. We can draw 12 cards. And we got some Season of Growths. Have we got enough here? I think we've got enough. I'm honestly not even sure if I need the Season of Growth. I need 1 untap here, I think. Let's draw a card. Because what I need to find is End-Raised Forerunners. And also have all my creatures ready to go. And I think I can do that with 17 mana just fine. Adventurous Impulse. Another Marwyn. It's another creature that's a counter on Marwyn. Once Upon a Time. Still nothing. It's a free spell on Llanowar Elves though. So let's take Llanowar Elves. I've already played my land for the turn. So free mana. Might as well get it out there. We also get a scry as well on these creatures being played. Forgot about that a little bit. Because honestly, I was disregarding the Season of Growth because it shouldn't be important in our plan. Once Upon a Time. Where on earth are our cards? Let's go Llanowar Elves. Counter on Marwyn. Scry. There it is. Alright. So we know that's on top. So we want to draw it. Let's go with... I want enough untapped, unsummoned sicked creatures so that I can get extra damage in. I'm not sure I'm going to need it, though. Because this is going to be a lot of damage. Untap Marwyn. Draw a card, which is the End-Raised Forerunners we're looking for. Then we can Stony Strength, untap the Llanowar Elves. That's an extra creature. Ready to go. Draw a card. Season of Growth. We've got 22 cards left. Play End-Raised Forerunners. Give everything Trample, Vigilance. Ooh, that's a good card, but we have no way of drawing it. So I'm going to just put it to the bottom, because I'm going to look for the other End-Raised Forerunners with my final bit of mana. And hopefully we get there. Yeah, we get there. Mana, mana, mana. Alright. Got him. Alright. +2/+2, Trample, Vigilance, all attack, yo face, and you get to go to blockers. So we've got a 23/26 Trampler, we've got a 9/9, a 7/7, a 4/6, and a 6/6. Our opponent's on -29. And yeah, they could only block good old 5 of that. Yeah, 5 of that damage. We did it. Alright guys, well that is gonna do it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. If it is the most popular deck of the week, then I might come on back with this video as well. So if you want to see more Marwyn Storm, then let me know by liking, by commenting, by subscribing, all that jazz. I always look at the analytics, so greatly appreciate all the support there. But yeah, thanks very much for watching guys. I really hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.